Welcome back to the coffee show, everyone. Today is if you're interested in opening a cafe, but you want to do it on a shoestring budget, this is the podcast to watch. So we've got Fabian Brito here from Officer Coffee here in Melbourne, who's probably got the best example of how to open a cafe on a shoestring budget and make it go well. So Fabian Brito, welcome to the coffee show.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you very much.
Now, I will fill guests in. We just recorded for about 2 or 3 minutes and realized that I didn't press record on the audio. So
2 or 3 minutes is better than 30 minutes.
Look, that was a good little rehearsal for where we are now. But like I said, we're going to go through about sort of 10 tips and tricks on how to open a cafe on a shoestring budget. And again, there's no one better in the world, in my opinion, to ask than you right now. So Officer Coffee in Coburg, Fabian Brito. Unfortunately, your business partner, my mentor, Leon Holdsworth, couldn't be here tonight.
Not tonight.
He's an impact. He just isn't able to be here, but he's a huge impact on the coffee industry.
Sure is.
Wait a minute. Who's that?
This is Leon. I've got a cutout of Leon. This is one of my favorite photos of the guy.
Yeah.
Look at that lovely smile.
Yeah.
He's such a beautiful human. So
he keeps demand high and supply low with the smiles.
Correct.
Correct.
If you catch Leon smiling, you're so lucky to be able to see this. Yeah. You have no clue how. So he's going to live here for the duration of this episode.
I love it. He can be here in spirit now.
Correct. Yeah, in spirit and in cutout 300 GSM paper form.
So before we get into how you opened your cafe, I want to know a little bit about your backstory. Yeah. So you've been working in the hospitality industry for near on 10 years now. You started at?
So I started the coffee, journey at St. Ali in South Melbourne. Always been into, I started getting into coffee at around 12. I was 12, 13. And then when I was 14, my dad took me to St. Ali. His colleagues were working in the area at the time. They'd always go there for coffee. Took me, I had my mind blown. And the owner noticed that I was there quite often. He approached me one day and he's like, "What's the go? Like, you're 14, 15. I think I was 15 actually at the time." He's like, "What are you doing here?"
15, by the way.
Yeah, which is fantastic. And when it'll do me favors when I'm 30. Yeah. I keep telling people, and then the closer I get to 30, I'll just change that to it'll do me favors when I'm 50.
Yeah.
But it was impactful for me at the time because I obviously wasn't expecting him to offer me a job there. And I guess it was kind of meaningful, but not really. Looking back now as a business owner, it was like quite nice of him and good of him to do that and kind of kickstarted things for me. Being able to have that on my resume, even just as someone who was bottling iced lattes for St. Ali back in the day, was quite good. But yeah, started off at St. Ali. The first barista that I ever had a proper conversation to about coffee was Dan Dick. He was running the bar at St. Ali at the time. Or was the only person on bar when I approached him. And now Dan Dick supplies us coffee. Dan Dick supplies Officer Coffee via Born and Raised, who Nick roasts for, Nick Petrie. Shout out to Nick. So yeah, that's come around full circle, which has been really, really good, really, really nice. Obviously had conversations with Leon while he was on bar quite a bit at the time too. Just trying to get as much into my head about coffee as I could.
Leon Holdsworth, for those that don't know, he operates in the shadow realm. He probably won't, I don't know if he'll approve of you having that there because he does love, being behind the scenes.
We can put him away for a minute, but he has to come back at the end.
No, he's staying there the whole time.
He'll be right. He'll be right.
He's staying there the whole time.
I'll make him a coffee.
He was my mentor. He taught me how to make coffee properly. And I would say he's the best barista he's the best barista I've ever worked with. And, it's like crazy to me that he's not like a world barista champion because like he makes coffee better than anyone I know.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
absolutely.
He's just got such a skilled set of hands.
Yeah. And we were saying earlier, it's a shame that he doesn't get to doesn't have as much time behind the machine as he used to. He's kind of delved a little bit more toward the food side of things now, which is amazing because he's always been
crushes that too.
Correct. He's always been an amazing cook. If there's anything with the guy's hands, you should see his hands too. He's got beautiful hands. He calls himself a 10 out of 10 top tier hand model.
George Costanza.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But if you do get the chance to ever ask Leon to make you a coffee, do it.
Yeah.
And I will step the fuck back and like, so can I swear? Is that
Sure.
all right? I will step the fuck back and let Leon make you a coffee.
Yeah.
It was one of like someone in hospo came in not long ago, and Leon made him a coffee. I think it was the only coffee he made the whole day, and this guy hasn't been on the machine for like weeks. And then after he left, this guy I heard called you and Matt Perger.
Oh, Ross
and
Quayle.
Ross Quayle came in. Leon made him a coffee, and like Ross raved about it too.
You wrote a whole article about it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there you go.
Technical competency versus technical excellence.
Right.
Yeah.
There you go.
So you should better call Roscoe if you look for Ross Quayle on LinkedIn or whatever it is. He's got a Substack. If you listen to this, you should consider reading.
Yeah, I looked him up the other day.
But you should consider reading that because it's actually very informative if you're in the coffee industry. But Leon,
10
absolute master at what he does. So where along the line how did the discussion start between you and him to open Officer Coffee?
Well, I think it has a lot to do with fate in a way, because we ended up working together at 3 other places along our careers. So St. Ali to start off, and then obviously I wanted to get behind the machine and didn't have enough experience to do that at Ali. So I went to work at a bunch of other places and ended up at Auction Rooms in North Melbourne, who had recently been acquired by St. Ali. So obviously Leon was, OG St. Ali fellow, and he was there for I don't know how many years. But after I got working at Auction Rooms, was when I think about a year in, they sent Leon over to help us out. And that's when we started chatting about service and chatting about coffee, and our ideas aligned from day dot as to what it should be like and what service should be like and hospitality in general. And I learned so much from Leon during that time. I can honestly say I think I learned to dial coffee in and understood it properly via Leon. I had grasped the concept, but in terms of doing it on the spot and doing it practically, Leon was the key to that. So Auction Rooms, then we worked together at Black Vice Cafe. Unfortunately, they've actually this week they closed up. They're still roasting coffee. And then after that, we both had finished up in hospo. We were both working on Monday to Friday jobs. An opportunity came up to have a little coffee stall at the Carlton North Farmers Market. And we both took that on. And that was our first kind of thing that we did together, like a first business venture that Leon and I ran together. We'd run the bar at Auction Rooms together. I was his 2IC there. And then obviously we'd worked quite closely at Black Vice behind the bar. But I think it was just a journey of like a good 10-year journey of Leon and I working together, realizing that we work well together. And then, I think working well together and owning a business together, running a business is 2 very different things. And then when we learned that, okay, we can run a business together and it's working out well so far, then that kind of gave us, at least it gave me quite a bit of a confidence boost to then, potentially do something else. And so this coffee cart was like in affiliation with Black Vice at the time, but we knew that we wanted to do something, just the 2 of us, because we had our own ideas of what we wanted to offer people in terms of not just coffee, but hospitality. Again, the service aspect was always number 1 for us. And that's when we started kind of looking around at coffee carts. So that's where it started. We were like, hey, we went to Facebook Marketplace. How much would it cost us to buy a machine? How much would it cost us to buy a grinder? How much would it cost us to get a coffee cart going? And then that turned into realizing that there were quite a few cafes for sale for like not that much money. So maybe we should open a cafe. We're like, okay, I don't have money to do that. Do you have money to do that? No. Okay, well, let's figure this out. And then we went to realestate.com and things kind of, short story long.
Yeah. So you found a site on the internet for a lease.
Yeah.
And it was obviously a somewhat friendly lease.
Correct. And the space was semi-fitted already.
Okay.
So it'd been a cafe originally, and then it was a burger shop, and then it was like a health and food store where they would do meal prep kind of stuff here and there. And then it was one other thing after that, and then it was empty for a year.
Yeah.
So when we saw it, we're like, there's, construction going on across the road. That are going to be 300 or so apartments. The place is half fitted out. The plumbing's there. The electrical stuff's there. The framework's there. We don't have to fit in a vent. Bless you.
Thank you.
Or anything like that was already there. So the place was already kind of half fitted out already. It was just left for a year and a bit disgusting.
So this is sort of where you began to saw opportunity.
Correct.
And within the constraints of your budget,
yes,
you're thinking, all right, well, this is something we can work with.
Exactly.
And to layer onto that, so you said it was semi-fitted.
Mm-hmm.
So then you obviously had to get on the tools a lot yourself?
Yes.
Because I think there's a lot of people that will listen to this and I want to try and give as many tips as I can.
Yeah.
They'll listen to this because they'll be in a situation where they want to do the same thing.
Yeah.
So they want to know all the little nitty gritty details of how Fabian and Leon
so
did
like
it.
Finding a spot that was half fitted and like half the structure, the bones were there was, I guess, number one in terms of ticking that box and having that green flag in front of us was, okay, we don't have to spend a ton of money just redoing everything.
Yeah.
Or starting from scratch because half of it's already there. So finding something that, is already half put together at least was something that we needed to get going. Like we knew that we couldn't afford to do it from scratch. We couldn't afford to have a designer or had to have anything like that where like plumbing had to be put in or electrical stuff had to be put in. So it was a place that had been a hospitality establishment, I guess, previously, and had closed down for whatever reason multiple times. So we took over something that was kind of already put together, but once we got in there, we realized that we were in for quite a bit of work. The frame for the bench was there, but the old owners had a big bain-marie fridge. And there was a waste pipe coming out of it that needed to be, there was a hose that needed to be connected to a waste pipe, but wasn't. It was just running onto the floor. So we took that out, realized that the frame that we had planned to build the bench on was rotten. So the idea was to keep the frame, take off the old bench, put in our bench, no drama. But we found that, the frame was completely rotten. So we had to demolish the entire frame, rebuild the frame, and then put the bench on top and then do all the tiling and the sanding and all that jazz.
And so you did all of that yourselves?
Yeah, we did all that ourselves. So January 1st, 2024, Leon and I were at a music festival working with the coffee cart. And on that day, we'd already been there for a couple of days and it was a long, 3 or 4 day festival. We'd already been there for a few days and loved that people came back to us, obviously a few times a day. We made lifelong friends there, people that I still talk to, people that he still talks to that we met there. And we're like, we should do this. We should just, keep this going. And it was on that day that we decided to do this. We started looking in January and found this place, I would say mid to end of Jan 2024. We signed the lease February 1st, 2024, and opened the cafe February 26th, 2024.
Wow.
So we found that it was disgusting, ripped everything out, demolished the frame, rebuilt the frame, put the new bench in, did all the tiling ourselves, did all the grouting ourselves. I think we cleaned the floor 8 times. I can't remember how many times we scrubbed that fucking floor.
Yeah.
We were there from 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, sometimes till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, back the next day. Don't know how many hours we were there for every day, but we got our hands dirty.
Yeah.
Blood, sweat, and tears.
Right.
Yeah.
So, if anyone is thinking about doing the same thing, you just need to be prepared to work hard. What you don't pay in dollars, you pay in time.
Correct.
And so how did you find learning how to, Leon's just a bushman. So it seems logical. I don't need an explanation on how he learned to build a bench.
Yeah.
And I'm not casting aspersions about you here, but
so fine.
how did you find this is what I think the power, what's magical about a business owner.
Yeah.
Because you've got a goal.
Yeah.
You just have to do what you need to do to get shit done.
That's it.
And so is that just how it was with, learning to tile things?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, Leon or I had either like neither of us had tiled before or grouted anything before. We had to cut tiles as well. And we bought like a really shitty tile cutter from Bunnings down the road. Shout out to Bunnings in Coburg. We got so much stuff there. But I had some sort of experience previously working at a quarry. So I ran after leaving hospo, because I needed money, I started working at a quarry and I ran a processing plant in a quarry and then drove a dump truck there and doing all sorts of maintenance on gearboxes and all that jazz. So that came in really handy. And
I'm really sorry, but I'm looking at you right now. I can't imagine that.
I couldn't imagine myself doing it either. But I think that really helped to that stage of my life, at least. They've definitely gave me confidence to get my hands dirty. And when it came down to getting into the cafe and ripping everything apart and getting in with any tools that we needed and literally watching YouTube videos at 11 p.m. trying to figure out how to cut these tiles so they wouldn't crack every time that we put the tile cutter down. Stuff like that. It's just stuff that you've got to do. And because we didn't have a big budget, money-wise, we knew that we needed to, like you said, spend that time doing these things. And we knew that we only had a very short amount of free rent period as well. So we had to open by February 26th, where there was no way around it. And the guys that helped us to build the frame and all that kind of stuff, there were 2 guys that came in and helped out that we'd actually met working at another cafe. They were regulars. We told them the day that we wanted to open. They're like, okay, good luck. But we got it done.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so things like obviously tiling and, all that sort of stuff and building like most of the cafe you can do, but obviously electricals you had to get people to come in and.
Well, luckily Leon's also an electrician. And Leon's a plumber and he's a carpenter and he's a chef and he's a barista. Yeah. So he put his electrical hat on and we made things work.
All right. Okay. All right.
But another thing, we did get electricians to do the big proper jobs.
Yeah.
That you need a qualified electrician to do.
Yeah.
And they were also like old customers.
Okay, you had me a little concerned for a second.
Leon did some of the stuff, but when you come into the cafe, you don't have to be worried about getting electrocuted by anything because we had qualified electricians to fit everything and do everything at our cafe. Yeah, all electrical work was done by certified electricians with a Victorian license. Yep. Okay.
Yep. All right. I'm glad you made a clarification there. And so, all right. So then you get to you've got the thing built and then sourcing all your equipment.
Yeah.
So obviously to make coffee at a place, you need a coffee machine, you need grinders, all that stuff. So how did you go about it?
Well, brand new doesn't exist when you're on a budget. So none of our equipment was brand new. We found a secondhand machine online and we got it shipped from New South Wales. And it was one of those, it's a 2 group and it was just sitting in a showroom. So essentially this business that we found it, they post online a bunch of home brewing machines. So like single group stuff or like either businesses or just home brewers. And they had this 2 group there for some reason. Called them up. They're like, this 2 group was sitting at a bar for years from brand new, making espresso martinis. And then now it's in our showroom and we use it to make clients coffee every now and again. But, we don't need a 2 group machine to make clients coffee. So now it's on our website along with single group home brewing machines. So lock that in.
Yeah.
That machine's done.
How much did it cost? Can you tell?
I think it was $6,000.
All right. So it's a 2 groups in Nesso.
Yeah.
So $6,000 on that thing, which makes unbelievable coffee, is a steal.
And it's still going.
And a lot of cafe owners just get their coffee machine from their supplier.
Yeah,
which,
that's it.
You probably could have done.
Yeah, absolutely, we could have done. I think part of it was that we wanted to offer people coffee to try coffee from anywhere. Really.
Yeah. Okay.
And so when we opened, we got coffee from Scott Rowan, Prodigal Coffee. Now we have a bunch of guest roasters in all the time. So I think having our own equipment was important.
Yeah.
For us, we had a Mazza that we bought from Facebook Marketplace.
Yep. How much was that?
I don't remember. I think it was like $200-300.
What?
Yeah. This guy had like a bunch of cafes in the city and had like just spare grinders sitting around. And we picked it up from his house in North Melbourne.
Yeah.
This Mazda that we ended up using for the coffee cart for a while. And then we bought new burrs for it when we opened the cafe.
Yeah.
I think the burrs cost like a little less than the grinder itself because we bought them brand new.
Well, sometimes, investing in the burrs can be.
So we just like took it apart, cleaned it, obviously replaced the wire mesh and a bunch of other things to like make it work. But again, Facebook Marketplace. The bench that is at the cafe at the moment, where that coffee machine and grinder are sitting on, that we found when we went to buy tables for the cafe. So we went to buy these hardwood tables that we found on Facebook Marketplace, not a sponsor. And when we went to pick the tables up, there was this beautiful timber. Like I think it's just, I don't even know what timber it is. I think it's Tasmanian oak. It's recycled timber of some sort, where the lady was closing her shop up, wasn't working out. We're like, hey, what are you doing with that bench over there? And she's like, I'm going to leave it here. I can't take it with me. It's like, well, can we have the bench? And she's like, sure. She like made us a deal to take the whole bench. And I think it was 3 or 4 timber tables at the time, $500.
Okay.
So again, Facebook Marketplace. You're not going to get anything brand new. The EK43 was the only thing that we bought brand new, but that was for the coffee cart because we were at the time grinding our batch brew on my Commandante hand grinder.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
No, that was a bit of a stitch up.
Yeah.
So after we got busy enough at the coffee cart, which we set up at Carlton North Farmers Market every Saturday morning prior to opening the cafe, we would grind our batch brew, every single batch brew that we made on a Commandante hand grinder. Yeah. And we got tired real quick of that. So we bought the EK brand new for the coffee cart. I guess you could kind of count it as second hand when we put it in the cafe.
Yeah. Pretty loved.
Yeah, exactly. So the freezer that we have at the cafe, also Facebook Marketplace. I think I can't tell you how many things we found on Facebook Marketplace. There's people closing cafes all the time, unfortunately. You know how it's going on.
Yeah.
You know, at the moment with hospitality. So we took the opportunity to, all those, cafe closing, restaurant closing. We looked at all those ads and would go, I don't know how many kilometers we drove, but we would drive for 2 hours to go pick something up that was, 10% of the price that it was going to cost to buy it new.
Yeah.
And we just had to take that opportunity and again, spend the time.
Yeah.
To do it.
Interesting. All right. So if we're tallying, or putting a figure, how much did you spend to open your cafe all up?
It was just under $30,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
So $30,000 Australian is probably like, I don't know, 22,000 US.
Yeah.
Maybe 20.
Yeah.
It's probably about 20.
Yeah.
So
about right.
and you probably spent more than you needed to because you bought your own machine.
Correct.
So like a lot of the time you can get your coffee supplier to do that for you.
That's right.
So that's pretty incredible.
Yeah, and there was things in there that were ours as well. Like you have your equipment that you buy secondhand, but then I also brought in a shit ton of things from home, and so did Leon. So there's cutlery and there's plates at the cafe that are ours from home.
Yeah.
The record player that we had in there was mine. The speakers that we have in there are still mine. We had a bunch of records in there that were mine. The kettle that we use for pour over is still that's mine. The scales are mine. Like the business is your home. You're spending more time there than you are at home anyway. You might as well bring all your stuff. Yeah. Half the plant, I took all my plants from home and took it to the cafe. Yeah. All of the plants that are in there. Oh, not all of them now. We've had some really nice regulars bring in some plants for us as well as friends and all the rest of it. But originally all of the plants at the cafe were ours from home as well. So you bring in stuff from Marketplace, but you also bring in stuff that's your own that you have lying around to use because you're not going to be brewing any coffee at home anymore, that's for sure. Yeah.
So, I mean, and it's worked out really well for you. You know, your cafe is doing great. Your business is, profitable and which is like kind of like a bit of a mission to achieve in coffee. Yeah. Like it's surprisingly hard to do. Yeah. Like there's a cafe that just opened up across the road from me and the previous owners, like it's a terrible location. Right. But the previous tenants at that building, like obviously didn't work out. So they moved in, there's some new ones there. And I kind of look up there, I'm just like, look, they're probably not doing anything wrong with their offering. Right. Terrible spot. Yeah. So,
location is important. The tradies that were across the road from us really got us through winter. Yeah. We opened in February and it was all right during the hotter the hotter months. But then came winter, and the tradies were there to give us a hand. So just to give a bit of context, we're in Coburg on Stockade Avenue, and just literally across the road from us, while we were still opening the cafe, they were building apartment buildings. And so we knew that was going to be great for us. But in the meantime, we knew that we had to cater to those tradies.
So tradies for those overseas,
tradies.
Workers, builders and stuff like that. Yeah.
Carpenters, plumbers, electricians, we call them tradies. And so there were about 250 of them working on site. We were the closest cafe. We made friends with all of them. There were a couple of them that really helped us out to, get rid of our rubbish, because we had so much rubbish while we were building. They had skip bins, worked out a deal there. And then as we kind of started upgrading things here and there, we also had just a ton of rubbish to get rid of, and they would just let us put them in their bins, which was fantastic. I won't say the company name because they might get in trouble. But there were a lot of things like that I guess helped us to get through that time. But now that, that place is almost fully populated, and the street is open. The street was closed for most of the time that we were there. For I think it was 2 out of 3 days of the week, they would just close the street because they had to get a crane in, and they were moving stuff all the time. So now that the street's open, people can actually walk through, and the building's actually quite nice. We're getting a lot more people through. We started to get quite a few more people through the door and figuring out that we were there. So the location is definitely important, but to get to a point where you're actually profitable, you got to work. We signed the lease February 1st, open February 26th, but then we worked 4 months straight every single day, open till close.
Yeah.
So
that's
7 days a week.
4 months a day.
Literally
no day
4
off.
months straight. I think we took 2 or 3 days off because they were public holidays.
Yeah.
But
was that just like relief? When they came?
But then also, you're on the public holiday, you're like thinking, oh, maybe I should have opened. The other anxiety that you have as a shop owner to start off is like, oh fuck, I'm new here. I shouldn't be closed ever. I need to serve these people. The cafe, there's 2 large cafes around the corner from us, and they're open most public holidays, and so you still have that kind of anxiety of being like, oh, okay. There's the relief of not having to go in, but there's also the relief, like the anxiety of being like, maybe I should have been opened. Now I'm going to lose my customers because we're not open.
Yeah.
But yeah, to get to a point where it's a profitable business, you just have to put in the hours. I think it was 3 months before we took a day off each, and then started working 6 days, and now we're down to 5 days each, and neither of us have worked a 5-day work week in years. When we were doing our Monday to Friday job, and then we were doing the coffee cart on Saturdays. And obviously, you'd know as a business owner, you're still doing things on your days off. Yeah. You have a day off, but you're either doing things on the computer, or you're going to go pick something up for the cafe, or, but to get to that point, to get to where we are now, we had to put in all that time.
Yeah. Gosh. So now that the cafe's open, so you spent just under 30,000 to open the thing, which is incredible. What is it you want to do there? Because so now you've got the thing open, and I asked you to think of 10 things, that you wanted to talk about here. So how would we describe this? 10 things you think are most important if you're starting a cafe on a budget.
Yeah.
So let's start from number 10. You say it.
It's number 10 is be willing to give up most, if not all, of your time, which we touched on. Again, if you don't have money, you have to have time, and you have to be willing to use all of that time. I guess Leon and I also ended up using all of our money, but we also had to, more than money, use most of our time, which to us was and still is the most valuable thing.
We've got a business now, so that that worked. Yeah. Number 9.
Tell everyone you know. The only reason why Officer is open, and the only reason we were able to open it in such a short amount of time, is because we had help, because we had these connections that we'd made working in hospitality over the years. Again, the Sparky that came in to give us a hand, Leon had met previously. The guys, the carpenters that helped us to rebuild that frame and to sand the bench and cut everything to the right size with the right measurements and all that jazz. They were regular customers as well that we'd met working over in Hurstbridge. Family, obviously, and friends would come in. We didn't have a specific tool. Our friends had a tool. Liam Wilkie, shout out to Liam. He'd come in very often, and he'd help us to set up the coffee machine and the pressure and everything. Kind of, everyone should know what you're doing. and everyone should know that you're going to open a cafe, and that like, I guess, travels on to the next point, which is don't be afraid to ask for help. Your friends and your family are there to support you. You're building your dream. You can't do it on your own. I couldn't have done it on my own. Leon couldn't have done it on his own. And we couldn't do it just the two of us. It wasn't ever just the two of us in that shop. It was either us two and his partner, us two and a friend, us two and somebody else, always there, 2 other people, 3 other people giving us a hand. You can't do these things on your own. As much as we are proud of what we've done and the time and work that we've put in, none of it is possible, like would have been possible without the help of other people.
Yeah.
So that's point 3.
No.
No.
Point 8.
10, 8. What are we going? How do I
We're going in
10,
reverse
9,
order.
Yeah, 10, 9, 8. We're going in reverse.
Number 7.
Yeah. Accept that things won't be perfect, which is also something else that we've touched on. Like brand new doesn't exist when you're on a budget. Things are not going to be perfect. You're going to have to work around a lot. And there's going to be, for example, we found that we were accidentally cutting the hole where the jug rinser was going to go. We were cutting it over where the fridge was going to be.
Oh.
So, and then that was like halfway through cutting it. So it was too late. So we had to fill that in with some filler or some shit, wait for it to dry, and then cut a hole next to it so that the fridge wasn't going to be in the way of the jug rinser. Things like this. It's not, and now the bench, you can see where we'd accidentally cut. I think further down the bench there was a hole that was cut in the wrong place that we also filled in. It's not going to be perfect.
Yeah.
And you can always fix it later on as well. That's number 7.
So number 6.
Get your hands dirty. Again, we've touched on that. You're going to have to, there should always be blood, sweat, and tears. If there's no blood, sweat, and tears, you're not doing it right. Whether it's tears of joy or anger or joy, did I say joy? Joy, anger, or disappointment, or, because you hurt your thumb, smacking it with a sledgehammer, which we did multiple times. There should be blood, sweat, and tears. You have to learn these new things. You have to literally get on your hands and knees for whatever reason it may be to get it to work, to get it to be worth it.
Yeah. Number 5.
Be willing to learn something new, which again ties into number 4. We were on YouTube at 11 p.m. trying to learn how to tile things. We'd never grouted before. We didn't know which tiles we needed, what grout we needed. There were so many aspects of building this place that were unknown to the both of us. And we just worked with what we had and worked with what we thought would be best at the time, based on not just prior experience, but also, I guess, instinct. We're just like, let's just go for it. Let's just do it. There's no time even to be talking about it for 30 minutes or an hour or a day. We just have to try what we can and what might work. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, we'll try that again. Which is, I guess, again, leads on to the next point.
Number 4.
Point number 4, go with your gut. Can't stress this enough. Again, these are going to be things that you're probably going to regret later down the line. There's been times where like, oh, we probably should have done this a little bit different. But at the time it worked. And the space will evolve as you do, I guess. You will evolve with the space and you will need to move things here and there. You will need to adjust things during the course of the place being open. But if you're trying to get it open and you're on a budget, you just have to do what works. The rest will kind of like sort itself out eventually.
And number 3.
What's number 3? Number 3 is have a vision and stick to it. Trust the process. So this is something that I wrote down that I kind of like wanted to say almost word for word. Be 100% on the why and the who. So the purpose and the people. Why you're doing it in the first place and who you're doing it for. I think it was Rick Rubin, who I like really love and follow quite closely. He said that you got to create for yourself before you create for anybody else. And so to stay honest, I guess, and it comes to the next point with what you're doing and the reason why you're doing it is super important. I think that people can tell, customers can tell. We're a 50 square meter cafe. It's tiny. And so people will be very, very quickly receptive of whether you're doing something because you're copying and pasting or whether you're doing something because this is you and like who you are, either as a business owner or as business partners, friends, or whatever it is. the vision needs to be number one. If you've envisioned it in your head a million times already because you've been wanting to open a cafe for so long, or you've been you've been wanting to create your own idea or create your own space, you felt frustrated because you can't, because you're working for someone who doesn't either see the same thing or et cetera, et cetera. Once you're putting that into your own place, you just have to go for it. You just trust the process. Just go along with it.
Number two
is be honest with what you serve. Again, tying into number 3. Anything you make it with care, make it with love, make it because you like it as well. If you don't like eating it, if you don't like drinking it, you can't expect your customers to, especially if you're making it yourself. The sauce, for example, that goes into the Reuben, the Mac Daddy sauce, that we also serve as a side. Leon's been making for years. The mushrooms, the way that we roast those, again, everything is legit. Leon's been making this food for years. And obviously coffee. If we had gone with a coffee roaster that everybody knew, then it would have been good because we would have had, I guess, the what's the word?
Reputation.
Yeah, if we were using a coffee roaster that everybody knew, the reputation would have already been there. We wouldn't have had to grow it. But we were born and raised first wholesale customer. Nobody really knew about them, but we knew that Dan's vision, Nick's vision is similar, if not the same as ours in terms of building a community, especially here in Melbourne and in the hospitality scene here. And the reason that we went with them was because of that. So it's the coffee that we serve is honest. The food that we serve is honest. We're not, again, like I said before, copy and pasting. We're doing something that is meaningful to us and therefore meaningful to other people because everything's made in-house.
Yeah. And then the last one.
Number 1, be flexible. Balance is key. And I think that ties it all up because when you're opening a hospitality business, specifically a cafe, whether you're serving food or not, it's going to be very individual in the sense that every customer that you walk through the door is going to want something different. Obviously, there's same orders, similar orders and all that kind of jazz. But then when you're opening the space as well, you're going to have to work around so many things. And that means being flexible with your budget a little bit in the sense that you're going to want to make sure that the money that you thought you were going to spend on one thing may not add up as nicely as you wanted it to. So you might have budgeted to spend $5,000 on something. You're going to have to spend 6, which means unfortunately you're going to have to cut down your budget for something else by $1,000. And then you're going to have to be flexible with your time because you might have something on with the family or you might have something on with whatever else.
Mind you and Leon both have kids.
Correct. Correct. Yeah. So yeah, Leon's got 3 girls. I've got a little boy. And that is a huge sacrifice. So you're flexible with your money, you're flexible with your time, you're flexible with everything while you're opening and while the cafe is opening. I think it is open. I think it's a good, I guess, practice or baseline or experience to go off while you're building the cafe and while you're experiencing that the budget that you allocated isn't going to be correct or that the cut you made there isn't the right or that you bought the wrong tiles or whatever else. You're going to have to go through these things that aren't adding up and just figure it out in a way,
Yeah. And so what's been like one of the hardest things you've kind of had to deal with while opening this? I mean, obviously it's all sounds like, you've battled to get where you are now.
Yeah.
So what do you think one of the more difficult things you've had to deal with was?
I'd never worked that much in my life.
Yeah.
And it's different when you're doing it for yourself, 100%. At the start, Leon and I were both like, I still feel like I'm doing it for someone else. We're both talking about the fact that we still feel employed, even though we're self-employed now. As it got busier, the hardest thing for me was to maintain expectations from people and stay consistent. Luckily, we were busy enough at that point to hire somebody else, Chris. Chris came in to fill in our days off. So we were still just 2 people a week on the floor at the time. And that's when things started to get a little bit easier. But I think the hardest thing was, just to stay consistent in terms of the service aspect of it and coffee and be on top of so many things. There's no way that we could be as busy as we are now without, again, the help of our staff.
Yeah.
So although it started as a 2-man team, now there's 6 of us, and there's no way that it could ever be maintained with just the 2 of us. We needed to grow, and to grow, we needed more people. I think dealing with a neurospicy brain was really tricky at the time as well, because I would always look for things to do that would give me dopamine and would give me, stimulation to some degree. But there were a lot of things there that I didn't want to do. There were a lot of things that needed to be done that I just didn't want to do. And that was really hard. And as a business owner, that there's just stuff sometimes that you just got to lock in, put your head down and do the stuff that you don't want to do. That was really tricky, because when you're working for someone else and you're there for one specific reason, because it's at a larger venue or because you're hired as the head barista, you just got to do that thing. But as a business owner, because there's so many other things involved and things that you don't necessarily enjoy doing, that was definitely a tricky part for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so where to now for you? So you've gotten to this point where you can kind of, at least take 2 days off a week.
Yeah.
Maybe take a holiday soon.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see about that. That's pushing it.
But like where to next for you if you're...
We're not done, man. There's so much left to do in that little space. We've grown so much, but there's still so much left that we can do to make it better. So since we started, we've put in a bench seat in with storage.
Well,
so
you've constantly upgraded it as well.
That's what I'm saying. The upgrades are not finished at all. We need to keep upgrading it so that it's not just a comfortable space for us, because we're spending a lot of time there, comfortable space for our customers, but also a comfortable space for our staff. And to make all 3 of those things work is going to take quite a bit more time. We got a 3-year lease and planning to stay for another 3 after that. We're not going anywhere, but we want to renovate the floors, and we want to renovate the back section and amplify the seating a little bit somehow. We keep adding more seats, but now we've realized that there's no more seats to add anywhere except outside. There's no undercover section or anything like that. So during the colder months, it's a little bit tricky. But I guess just to continue growing the community that we've built, but also to continue doing these little upgrades that make our lives easier. So we started off with the Mazza little dosing cups and the Akaya scales. Now we're onto a GBW. We this week organized for a second GBW to be delivered. And then we also, instead of popping ice cubes one by one by hand like we started in the freezer, we bought an ice machine. And instead of making batch brew in the little Breville that we had, now we have a Fetco. Little things like that have made not just our lives easier, but our staff's lives easier as well. And then in terms of customers, putting that bench in so that they have more comfortable seating and can fit more people, so we can fit more people in the cafe, has been really great as well. The floor needs to be ripped up. So like I said, there were 4 other people before us, and everyone had the same idea of just going on top of the floor a million times. And now the floor has just had enough. So we have to rip out the floor, and I think we're just going to leave it as polished concrete, which is going to look really nice.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it's going to just a little rustic look anyways.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we're going for. So yeah, there's just so much more to do. And now that the food has started to pick up quite a bit and everyone loves Leon's food, we're kind of honing in on specials every now and again. So if you're on social media and follow us, you'll see that a lot of the time we'll only have a special on for one day. And if you can make it, you can make it. If not, you've unfortunately missed out on the special. Things like that we really want to kind of hone in on, trying to amplify the community in that way. We recently started working with a community garden as well. So just down the road, there's the Coburg Community Garden in Pentridge, and we've recently partnered up with them. The hot sauce that we use on a couple of the dishes is now made with the chilies that are grown in the community garden.
Oh, right.
That Leon put together. Absolutely delicious. Little things like that. So we give them coffee grounds in return for anything extra that they have, which happens to be chilies.
Yeah.
And a bunch of herbs and stuff like that. We'll have our little plot eventually where we'll grow our own veggies for summer.
I always feel like that's such a missed opportunity with used coffee grounds. Like there's more than you could possibly accept if you needed it. If there was like a big business that turned it into electricity, I think they're starting to turn into concrete now. There's a way to there's a way to use coffee grounds to be turned into concrete.
Yeah, no, I didn't know that.
And if you found a way to just collect it, cost effectively,
and store it somewhere.
You wouldn't have to pay cafe owners; they'll just give it to you.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
It's there, and you actually have to pay to get rid of it yourself, effectively, because in the waste.
Exactly.
And there's dozens of kilos a week.
Yeah, exactly. It's a massive waste product.
But there's such a missed opportunity.
Yeah, we're filling buckets a week now.
Yeah,
just full of coffee grounds to get.
And
to
it's just like that's one of the best uses for it. You know, like putting it back into helping grow more food.
Exactly. That then we'll use at the cafe.
So it was just. I gotta get on one here. Like that pisses. It just really annoys. It grinds my gears. It grinds my beans. That we don't do more with used coffee grinds, because there's like an almost unlimited amount if someone just wanted to come collect it and use it for good.
If you want more coffee grounds, there's more coffee grounds.
But like say for example, we produce obviously coffee grounds.
Yeah.
And baristas make the habit of putting paper and stuff like that. So you'd have to.
I've had to get out of that.
So you got to stop doing that.
Yeah.
But there's something there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Something there.
And if you run a tight ship, you can make your staff do push-ups for every docket they put in there.
Yeah.
I've introduced that, and all the other staff have stopped doing it except for me. So I'm the one doing all the push-ups still. But
how's your chest looking?
It's huge. It's massive. I can't show it to you. It's just too much. You wouldn't be able to handle it.
Yeah, you're looking very Fonzie today.
Oh, thank you so much.
The leather coat.
This is. I bought this yesterday. I had to wear it tonight. I was too excited not to.
Yeah.
So I was going to take it off halfway, but I think I'll leave it on.
Yeah, no, you're looking good.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
So what are some other things that I didn't ask you that you think someone should know before bootstrapping and opening a cafe?
Obviously, the bootstrapping part is important, and the bootstrapping part is what's going to get you over the line to have a place that's physically open. But it's just the beginning. Bootstrapping it and having a small budget and making it work with the small budget is fantastic. But then keeping a place open involves a lot more than that. And so we've outlined, I guess, the 10 most important things. But then once the place is open, keep it open, I guess. And the way to do that for us, or the way that we've found it to be beneficial, and I guess get it to a point, the way that we've been able to get it to a point that's profitable, is by creating that community of people and giving people a standard of service to expect every time they walk in. We're just not treating our customers well enough in Melbourne. We're just not. You want people to come into your cafe every day, then treat them like that.
Yeah.
Treat them well.
Well, this is the thing I always say to, I've been talking about this a lot. I've been traveling a bit this year. I went to Dubai and to Indonesia, and the minimum wage for staff there is unbelievably low compared to Australia.
And
so
they'll still
it's $200-300 US. But the level of professionalism is extremely high.
Right.
More so than here.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, the wages here are fantastic.
Oh yeah.
But that doesn't mean that you can treat people like shit.
And I don't think people intentionally
not at all.
treat people bad.
Right.
But I think, to make a place really sing, people need to give a high level of service.
Correct.
To make an experience.
Right. And it's to be honest, it's not that hard. I think to be able to connect with everyone on a certain level is really difficult. To connect with your regular customers and all that kind of stuff. That takes quite a bit of effort. But the baseline of what good service is not difficult to reach.
No, it's not.
Just acknowledge someone when they walk in, ask them how they are.
Yeah.
Maybe crack a smile if you want to.
Yeah.
But at least acknowledging someone, which nowadays is rare.
Yeah.
Will get you over the line.
Yeah.
People should be walking in, getting acknowledged, having a glass of water in front of them and a menu within the first minute kind of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's levels to that. But
yeah. Well, I think as well, not everyone's really put in a position to be you work in some cafes where, it all trickles down from leadership really.
Yeah.
And if the owner doesn't have as much interest and,
Right.
you know, it kind of reflects in the staff morale
Absolutely.
and, you know,
Yeah, for sure.
that sort of seeps into their
Yeah.
delivery of
Yeah.
service. So,
Yeah, that's it.
you know,
That's it.
you
Yeah,
can really tell when someone is run passionately.
Right, yeah. And when I talk to people about that, and when I say things like we're not treating our customers well enough, I'm talking to business owners more so than staff, because it's exactly what you're saying. If the business owner isn't passionate about who they're serving and what they're serving, and again, like that point of keeping what you're serving honest and real, then your staff will pick up on that as well. The only reason we make a carrot cake at the cafe is because one of our staff is allergic to walnuts, but she loves carrot cake. So we make a carrot cake without walnuts in it for her. Then we've got another staff member who wanted to do an upside down apple cake. And the only reason we sell that is because she wanted to do it. And so you connect with your staff in that way as well. The passion trickles down the line. Like, again, we're not a big place, so it's easier to do that. But if you care about this place and you're there often enough for your staff to see how much you care about it and how much you care about the customers, then they'll do the same.
Yeah.
You know? And it's not so hard to offer a glass of water to your customers when they walk through the door.
No, it's not. It's you know, it's a cheeky hack.
Yeah.
You know,
and IKEA has pretty cheap glasses of glasses for water too. You don't have to spend a lot of money getting glasses of water for your customers.
Although they break easy. I've been through that.
Yeah.
They do.
You got to be gentle. Don't put them in the sink.
Yeah.
If you put them in the sink, they'll break. As we realized, as soon as we didn't put them in the sink, they last a little bit longer. But you might need to increase the budget for water glasses.
Yeah.
If you want everyone who walks through the door to have a glass of water in front of them, you probably need to.
Couple of extra quid there.
Yeah. A couple of extra buckaroonies.
One thing I want to ask you about before we wrap up is there was a period there where you were. Well, it started off with you had a certain influencer come to the shop, and basically try some scrolls and some coffee that you were doing, and they were quite good cinnamon scrolls. So his name's Bangin' Sangers.
Yes.
So from when he posted his video to the day after, what was the Bangin' Sangers effect?
Oh man, that was wild. People started coming in from scrolls from I don't know, far and wide. We had some guys come in from Sydney the other day. They were in the industry to try the scrolls, and they got us to box up a scroll so they could take back to Sydney. I don't know who they were. I don't think they posted anything about it. But the following day, we had people come in, and I think he mentioned in his video that at the time we only made them on Sundays, but people didn't get far along in the video to that part where he said that. So I think he came in on a Sunday on the day where we had the scrolls by chance because he didn't know that. But then he posted the video, and then we got people come in every day for scrolls. And then once Sunday hit, we made 300 scrolls total that weekend and sold out.
Wow.
We don't make 300 scrolls on weekends anymore, just in case now that's dialed down quite a bit. But yeah, the cinnamon scrolls we used to make at the Carlton North Farmers Market on the Saturdays as well. And people loved them. And, this was something that was a learning curve for me as well. I'm not a baker, but Leon thought it was a good idea to make cinnamon scrolls, and I agreed. And, I just dialed in and went for, 12, 13 recipes, and we got the cinnamon scroll recipe. And I've actually got a couple here for you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
That's your little present.
Oh, my gosh. I'm going to wait till I get home to eat these because my girlfriend will...
Yeah, she won't be happy if you... Yeah, they're not freshly glazed, obviously. They were glazed
they're
shortly
like a couple
before
of breasts.
arriving.
I'm flashing.
They taste just as good as breasts, I would say.
Oh, all right. That's probably the spiciest thing anyone's ever said.
Oh, fantastic. I was toning it down this whole time. I can keep going if you want. But anyway,
when I upload this on YouTube, I do click the not for kids button.
Yeah, make sure you click that this time round. There's a secret ingredient to the glaze that I cannot disclose.
Okay. Kernels, herbs, and spices. I like that. All right. So the Bangin' Sangers effect is real.
Yeah, it is real. It's very real. We still make the scrolls, but we make them 5 days a week now instead of just Sundays.
Yeah.
Still a crowd favorite, and we still like making them, so we'll keep making them.
I punish them. It's so good. And you and Leon both make such good coffee. Like I don't have a car, so I don't.
It's harder to get there.
It's harder for me to get to where you are, but I still come.
Yeah, often enough to be a regular. I would say.
And
I still remember your name. So
thank you. You've got a chessboard.
Yeah.
Which I like getting out as well. I've recently got into playing competitive Pokemon.
Ooh,
So,
okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, have you ever played competitive
No,
Pokemon?
never.
Oh, dude,
I wasn't allowed to have him as a kid. Yeah, like
yeah.
raised like in a really conservative Christian household where Pokemon was the devil.
Yeah.
So I wasn't, but I would love to. Now
See,
that I'm
I
involved.
lived with a Jehovah's Witness family for a number of years.
No way.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. There you go.
Yeah, Harry Potter.
Yeah, no, big
Banned.
no.
Big band.
No, we don't like Voldemort.
Birthdays.
Yeah, none of that.
Nah.
I celebrated my third birthday this year.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So you only started like
Correct. 3 years ago. Yeah.
Right. So you were quite religious growing up?
Yeah, super. Hence no Pokemon.
Yeah, okay.
But that's changed. So you show me some cards. I'd love to
Yeah,
love to get down and dirty with the devil.
I'm big on the
Please.
on the Nintendo Switch. But
Yeah, I got my my son. Obviously, I celebrate his birthday. I got him a Switch for his 7th birthday, and I got myself one too. I got the old version, and I felt bad, so I bought him the new version. But I will download Pokemon. And I will play Pokemon with you at the cafe if you want.
Yeah. All right. Done. Well, we should play because I just started a Pokemon club.
Oh,
So-
that's at the cafe.
Well, yeah. So we had our first
that what I
meeting.
saw?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
okay.
we had our first
That's mad.
meeting at
That's fantastic.
my cafe.
Yeah.
Just because it's like you can get Wi-Fi there, we can go make coffee.
Yeah, it's easier.
And
Yeah.
we had one of the guys brought some coffee back from Asia, so we're just
Hell
brewing
yeah.
coffee and
Nice.
all
Love
played each
that.
other in
Yeah,
Pokemon.
yeah.
First meeting,
Yeah.
undefeated.
Hell yeah.
I did not drop
look
a
at you.
game.
All right.
Did
I want
not
to be
drop a-
told by you then.
Yeah.
What happened to chess? You used to play chess a lot too, right?
I'm not a big chess guy.
Yeah, okay.
Todd, my friend, is,
Right.
but
Suitor.
like I can play.
Yeah, okay.
And I play whenever I come to your joint, but playing competitive Pokemon is like playing chess because if you play
Right.
doubles,
Okay.
like you actually have to work in combinations. So like you'll have two Pokemon and you can use moves with one to support the other
Okay.
to like take down the other team.
That's cool.
And then you can also use moves that like negate other people's moves. So it's like a great big game of chess.
Yeah, hell yeah.
You're just
Okay.
trying to, and like when I play online, I just like the satisfaction of playing Pokemon online, knowing I'm just defeating some like 12-year-old Korean kid in the other side of the earth
Makes
is
you
just
feel good.
like,
Yeah, okay.
it does something for
Yeah,
me.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it
That's where you
does
get your little
something for
boost
me.
for the week.
You know, like,
Yeah.
it's
makes
it's
sense.
so fun.
Yeah.
But I do love Pokemon. Like,
Yeah, okay.
I'm a big time sci-fi Pokemon nerd.
Right.
You know, I do cool shit from time to time as well.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
but like,
sure,
I'm
sure.
a nerd
Make
at
coffee
heart.
every now and again.
Yeah, I love boxing. I love
okay.
fighting. Like,
Yeah,
I love,
you are into the UFC quite a bit. That scene.
And I love sport. But
Yeah, right. I wish I was into that, man. I wish I could. The people that come into the cafe all the time. Leon's quite into BJJ.
Yeah.
So he'll talk to customers that are into this kind of stuff. And I'm just not. I just play chess and read books like a nerd.
Oh no,
I haven't reached that level of nerd
It's probably
yet.
better
I really
that you
want
do
to,
that.
though.
It's probably better that you do
But
that.
yeah, no, the chessboard has been there since day dot. That's not going anywhere. We've moved so many things around and made room for more tables, et cetera, et cetera. But the chessboard is like not going anywhere. That's a big part of like Leon and I's relationship as well. I taught him to play chess, and we used to play while the coffee cart was quiet during cold times. We'd like play a game of chess every now and again. And we're holding a chess night at the end of this month. You should come.
Oh, cool. Yeah, no, I'll
at
come.
the cafe, serving decaf. And there'll be a non-decaf option, but we're serving tasty decaf by Born and Raised on that night. And we're just setting up a bunch of chessboards and it'll be great.
Brilliant. All right. Well, I'll be there.
Lock it in.
Well,
21st.
and by the way, I'm going to have like an actual tournament for the Pokemon Club. So
Holy shit.
we're going to have like we're going to have an 8-man
Will there be an
tournament
Excel
soon.
spreadsheet?
There'll be a bracket.
There'll be something.
There'll be a
Okay.
bracket.
Yeah.
So we're going to have an 8-person like mini tournament first.
Okay.
And then we're going to have a 16 person tournament. And that one will be like $20, $30 buy-in winner
You got to
takes
make
all.
you got to make a Pokemon themed coffee in a way.
Oh.
What would a Pokemon coffee taste like?
Well, there's
Depending on the character, right?
I don't know if there's a coffee Pokemon,
Maybe you should do that.
but
like-
there's a tea Pokemon.
okay.
It's called God, I've forgotten it. Tea
Not a real fan.
I don't know.
He's gonna look it up.
There's a
It's funny.
there's like 1,000 Pokemon.
Yeah, right. I'm
Tea
impressed by like the amount of Pokemon that people know.
Poltegeist. That's the tea
That's
Pokemon.
a cool name.
Yeah, Poltegeist.
Poltegeist.
But there's also a
Poltegeist.
matcha Pokemon as well.
Okay, well you've nailed that. You should put that on your menu somehow. Name it.
That's called Sinistra, but that's also
Yeah.
a really good Pokemon because it's got
yeah.
like it gives your other Pokemon matcha and heals them. I'll get a
Okay, they
I'll get
work
a
together.
I'll see if I can get a photo up.
So you need to develop a drink that tastes like these two Pokemon. Well, maybe that's wrong to say.
Sinistra.
Yeah, you got to make a matcha that
I don't know if
tastes
the
like
camera
what?
can see that, but Sinistra.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. No, it's good. Grass
How-
and ghost type Pokemon.
How long is it going to take me to learn to play Pokemon?
Oh,
Like
look,
if I wanted to get good.
I don't know because I played it from a young age.
Yeah,
And
okay.
it's the type of thing that you pick
been
up
playing it
after
for years.
Well, it's like you stop playing it for like a year and then you're just like, I'm in a Pokemon kind of mood. And then you're
Is it
into
like
it for
riding a
like, you
bike?
can't stop playing for like 2 or 3 months.
Yeah, crazy.
It's
okay.
it's
like me and chess.
But
It's exactly the same
I'm
relationship.
back into Pokemon in a big way right now.
Hell yeah.
So
Okay.
I'm on one. But
There you
look,
go.
we
You
both.
should. What's your Pokemon username so people can add you?
Oh,
do that?
I don't think you can do that.
Oh, what? That's not how it works.
Like you get a code and then you send whoever you want to fight
Damn,
the code.
it's exclusive.
And it just like randomizes your opponents.
Crazy, okay.
But I'm completely new to this. But like,
yeah. Okay.
yeah, I've been studying, been watching some videos,
Wow.
and I'm like, yeah, it's
Hell yeah.
it's for
Alright, good
real,
on you.
man. It's for real.
Nice.
But look, we actually both work today. I've been
Yeah.
working since 5:30 a.m. It's
Yeah, I got to the cafe at the same time.
now 8:05 p.m.
Yeah, you
So
gotta hustle. You gotta can't
Yeah.
let the hustle.
yeah. So
For us
let's
Melbourne blokes.
let's go home.
Let's go home.
But thank you so much. Thanks,
Cheers.
Leon, for joining as well. Shout out to our sponsor, Time More, by the way. Time
yeah.
More provide kettles, grinders, brewers, hand grinders, you name it, scales as well. I use all of that stuff. So if you need some Time More gear at your cafe, so it's timemore.com, you can get it for home as well. So cafe and home quality gear. I just brew the best of Panama coffee. That's $30,000 a kilo coffee.
Using Time More.
Brew-
Wow.
Brewed it using Time More.
All right, I gotta
so
get onto these guys.
it's good stuff. So if you need Time More, timemore.com, visit a local distributor near you. Thank you so much, Fabian. If I'm wanting to bootstrap a cafe, if I want to
Never
open a
again.
cafe on a shoestring budget, I'm watching this podcast. So can't wait to go home and eat these cinnamon scrolls.
Please enjoy.
Let's wrap it up there.
Done.
Hooroo, everyone.